The following BLTV program is brought to you by O'Flaherty Law. Please enjoy.
Welcome to Learn About Law. My name is Kevin O'Flaherty from O'Flaherty Law, and today we're going to explain joint simplified divorce in Illinois. So let's talk about what joint simplified divorce is. Basically, it's a statutorily created expedited process where if the parties agree on all of the issues, they don't have any children, and they meet other statutory requirements that we're going to discuss in a moment, the parties can have a simpler version of divorce in Illinois. There's fewer forms, simpler forms, a single court appearance, and no service of summons is necessary. So the upshot is that it's faster than a traditional divorce, and it has fewer legal fees, and it's usually much less stressful. So let's talk about the statutory requirements. So these are what the Illinois Marriage and Dissolution of Marriage Act, the IMDMA, says you have to meet in order to qualify for this expedited process of joint simplified divorce. So first, there has to be no spousal maintenance involved. Either the parties wouldn't qualify for it, or whoever would normally receive it is going to waive spousal maintenance. And that's the same thing as alimony. No children are involved, and there are none expected. The parties have been married for less than 8 years. The parties don't own any real estate. The parties can't own any retirement benefits except for IRAs with a total combined value of less than $10,000. The fair market value of all of the marital property, that's the property that would normally be divided in a marriage that's jointly owned or was acquired after the marriage, the fair market value of this property after deducting any loans is less than $50,000. The combined gross annual income of the parties has to be less than $60,000, and neither party can be making more than $30,000 in combined gross annual income. The other requirements are a little easier to meet. The parties have to have disclosed to each other all of their assets and liabilities and all of their tax returns for the years that they were married. They have to have a written agreement dividing up all the assets and liabilities, and there has to be a written agreement dealing with the ownership of any pets. So if you meet all of those requirements, and at least one of you has lived in Illinois for 90 days, and you either live separate and apart for 6 months, or one of you waives, you both waive the living separate and apart requirement, then you qualify for a joint simplified divorce. Assuming, again, that you agree on all of the issues. The procedure for a joint simplified divorce is basically 3 steps. Step 1 is you fill out the joint simplified divorce forms provided by the clerk of court in the county where at least one of the parties resides. At that point, a final hearing will be scheduled. And again, these are simplified versions of the regular divorce forms. In the meantime, between the time you fill out those forms and the final hearing, you'll prepare an affidavit for submission at the hearing stating that all the property that is marital property has been divided in accordance with a written agreement of the parties. So by that hearing, all the property should be divided according to this written agreement. Then step 3 is there will be a final hearing. It's very simple. Both parties must appear. The judge will simply ensure that the forms are in order and that any agreement between the parties is not unconscionable. And unconscionable is a term of art, meaning that basically it's a form of abuse of power by one party over the other. But as long as it's not unconscionable and everything's been executed properly, the judge will enter a final order finalizing the divorce. So let's talk real briefly about what your options are if you don't meet those statutory requirements, but you want a simplified version of divorce. We have a video and article about uncontested divorce. Joint simplified divorce is a form of uncontested divorce, but uncontested divorce is simply a type of divorce where the parties are able to reach a marital settlement agreement and a joint parenting agreement, resolving all the financial issues of the divorce relatively early in the process. So if you're in agreement as to how everything's going to be handled, or you think you can reach one easily through negotiation, through your attorneys, then you might try an uncontested divorce, which is basically cuts out all the litigation, discovery, depositions, motion practice, and hearings from a regular divorce. It's just you still have to serve summons, and the forms are the normal divorce forms and not as simple as the joint simplified divorce forms. So hope this was helpful. Feel free to leave any questions in our comments section. Please subscribe to us on YouTube and SoundCloud. Leave us a review on iTunes. And feel free to give us a call for an initial consultation, 630-324-6666. Thanks for listening.
Thanks so much for watching our video. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Click the subscribe button for new videos every week, and download and review us on iTunes. Visit learn-about-law.com for other legal-related articles and videos. Visit our business podcast and video blog, seizeyourbusiness.com, and visit Making Real Estate Fun for real estate videos and podcasts. Call us at 630-324-6666 for a free consultation.